Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Free Training Thursday. We're kicking off the new year, changing things up, moving Free Training Fridays to Thursdays. Hopefully, that better suits your schedule. Today, we have with us Dave Lamb, and he'll be discussing how to organize your calendar with adjournments. It's an extremely useful feature. It'll be a quick one today, but we are recording this, so don't worry if you can't make it or if your colleagues aren't here. We will be emailing you the recording later. We will have time for questions and answers toward the end in about 20 minutes, so feel free to submit your questions via the GoToWebinar control panel, and we will field those at the end. Without further ado, I'll let Dave take it away.
Thank you so much. So in this webinar, you'll learn how to use adjournments to keep your Amicus calendar better organized. Now, let's take a typical example of calendars, and managing calendars really is always a juggling act. Appointments are made and they're often rescheduled, and it becomes even more complex if calendars are managed by multiple firm members. Take an example of an attorney whose assistant, and maybe a paralegal or even someone else in the department, manages their appointments. So let us pull up Amicus. And here we are in our calendar. So first of all, let's take a typical example of rescheduling an appointment. So this is tomorrow on Friday, and I have an appointment scheduled on my calendar, and it's a court appointment. So for example, I get a call from the clerk of the court telling me that we need to adjourn this to next Wednesday because the judge has the flu. So we'll do that. And by the way, if you've never done this before, there are several ways to reschedule an appointment. You can, of course, open up the appointment itself and change the day, but here's a little trick. You can simply drag it and drop it to the date. So I'm going to drag it to next Wednesday, which is the 10th, and there it is. So you can see the appointment itself is gone from today's calendar, and if I go to the 10th, there is my date. But what if my assistant took the call from the clerk of the court and rescheduled the appointment while I was out of the office? So I come into the office tomorrow expecting to see a court appointment, and it's not there. Now I have to spend some time to figure out what happened. Did it get rescheduled? Did it get canceled? What is the new date? So if my assistant's not in the office, I need to scramble around to find out what happened. Now there is a better way to end this confusion, and that is called adjournment. So let's delete this from my calendar. Just open up, and I'm going to delete it. Yes, I do. Okay, so let's go back to tomorrow to Friday, and let's make our appointment again. So let's make our appointment, say, from 3 to 5. Attended court. Courtroom 3. Best practice, of course, it's always on a file. So this is on the blank vBiddle file. But this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check this little box that says Show Adjournments. Click OK. Now we get a call from the clerk of the court. The judge has the flu, and we have to reschedule for next Wednesday. So let's do that again. Let's drag and drop to the 10th. Now, because we've checked that box, it's asking us what's the reason for the adjournment. Judge has the flu. And now we click OK. Now the appointment has been moved, but it leaves behind a record of the original appointment. Now when I come into the office, I can see that I did have an appointment, a court appointment, but I see it's been moved. So it says it's been adjourned to January the 10th. You'll see that it's locked. I can't do anything with this. I can't move it. I can't change it. It stays in that original position. Now, if I I wonder, why was this adjourned? I can open, still see all of the details. And if I click details, you'll see, the original date was the 5th. It was rescheduled to the 10th. Reason, the judge has the flu. Okay. And so what I can do now is I can move ahead to the 10th, and there is my actual appointment. In here, if I go to the actual appointment and click details, you'll see here are the same details: the original date, the rescheduled date, and the reason. So now we get a call from the clerk of the court again. We have to move it again to the 17th. Why? Because the judge has rabies. So again, I'm going to move it forward to the 17th, and it asks me the reason. I put that in. Judge has rabies. Click OK. Now, again, the same thing happens. It has left behind the appointment. It has graded out. It stays there. And when I go in and click on here, I get the details that here was the original date. It was rescheduled to the 10th because the judge has the flu. And it was rescheduled from the 10th to the 17th because the judge has rabies. Click OK. Now, if we go back to the original date, which was the 5th, we'll see that it still left this. If I double click to open and open the details, it has the same details. So from any of these adjourned appointments, we can get the full details of that appointment. And all of the details and all of the dates have been updated. So now if someone makes this change on my calendar and I come into the office, I can follow through this path, so to speak, find my appointment, but also see the rescheduled dates. Now, you can also see appointments on files and people records. So let's open up the Blank versus Biddle files. We'll go to Files. We'll go to Blank v. Biddle. And of course, we will find all of our appointments and to-dos under Events. And I'm just going to go into my appointments, and there you can see there is the actual date of the appointment. You can see it's displayed normally, but you can also see the 2 adjourned dates that we had on the calendar. So we can not only see them on the calendar itself, but they're also going to show up in Events on Files. And if you went into the People module and this was assigned to a person, you would see it there also. So this is a really very simple thing to do. Again, let's go back into our calendar module. And we'll go to our 17th. And this is all done by clicking the Show Adjournments. Very simple, one click, and it allows you to manage those appointments. So as you can see, using adjournments makes it easy to keep track of the changes to scheduled appointments on your calendar. I told you this would be a very short one. This is a really excellent way to manage these adjournments, and very simple. And so after our real short webinar today, do you have any questions? I've got one. Can you unadjourn? Well, once you click the adjourn, and it has been adjourned, you can see here when I go in that you cannot unadjourn. Now, if I make a new appointment, say I made an appointment on the 18th, and we'll just call it new appointment and show adjournments and click OK. If I have not adjourned it, I can go in and click it off. But once it has been rescheduled, I cannot turn off the adjournments. And that's, let's see if there's anything else. I don't see any other questions. So I think that's really our quick overview of adjournments today.
Thanks so much, Dave. Before we go, let's just show, we're going to do one quick poll. You may have already been familiar with Abacus Private Cloud, but it is a a service that we offer here at Abacus that helps you to secure your data, put all of your critical applications in a secure environment, while enabling you to work from anywhere on any device. So if you're interested in learning more about that, just let us know. So the poll is running right now, and we will make sure to reach out to you. And also, don't forget to sign up for the rest of the January free training Thursdays. You can see them at www.abacusnext.com/webinars. We have them for not just Amicus Attorney, but also next week there's one for the Abacus Private Cloud. We have some other webinars that are more focused on how to keep your firm safe in 2018 and from cyber threats and things of that nature. So don't forget to take a look at that. And thank you everybody so much for attending. All right, thanks. Thank you, Dave. Bye-bye.